2 years ago, I wasn't moving forward. I was clinging to the past, desperately trying to hold on to what was already gone. When I hit rock bottom, I thought it was the end, that there was no way forward. But was it? Or am I still haunted by the ghost of those years? I'm RUFlect, and this is the story of my fight to escape the shadows of my past. 2 years ago, I returned home, carrying the weight of unfinished story. I wasn't building something new, I was reviving an old project, trying to reclaim the part of my past. Life had shifted in ways I didn't fully understand. I was struggling to adapt to a new reality, but I held on to hope that I could make it work. I still remember the first stream after coming back. It wasn't just a small step, it was a triumph. That stream became the highest point of my streaming career. That moment felt like a validation of all energy and time I had invested. But as exhilarating as it was, it also set an impossibly high bar for what was to come. Around this time, I moved into my dad's flat on the border of St. Petersburg. It was winter, days were cold and short, adding to the weight of everything I was dealing with. I only stayed at Dad's flat for 2 months, but it gave me the stability I needed to focus on streaming and adjusting to my new life. Soon after, I met Diana, who would become my girlfriend. It felt like a bright spot in the chaos, a reason to keep pushing forward. Despite these small victories, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had lost a year of my life trapped between the past and uncertain future. I was trying to rebuild, but pieces didn't always fit the way I expected. Little did I know, this was only the beginning of a much larger journey. As I continued streaming, I poured more and more energy into reviving my media career. A Wasted Incorporated, a Minecraft server accompanied with Twitch and Discord channels, was at the heart of my efforts. Once it had been a vibrant project that brought people together, but it began to fall apart. The decline was slow, but the writing was on the wall. It became clear that things could not continue as they were. Around this time, my friend Daniel generously offered me a place to stay. For 3 months, I lived in his flat, using the opportunity to refocus and strategize. Encouraged by the idea of collaboration and support, I offered to my old online friend Igor to move to St. Petersburg. Soon, Igor, Diana and I were living together in a whirlwind of creativity and chaos. It wasn't perfect, but it felt like we building something meaningful, even if the foundation was shaky. My brother stepped in during this turbulent period and helped me find a good job. This was a lifeline I desperately needed, and within a month I was promoted. Things seemed to be improving on the surface, but the cracks were starting to show. However, Yegor's inaction in adapting to life in St. Petersburg began to disappoint me. I had hoped for a partnership where we could motivate each other and create something substantial, but it felt like he wasn't fully invested in making it work. This realization added another layer of frustration to an already challenging situation. A mistake on my part strained my relationship with Daniel. He began questioning my ability to realize my potential, and while his concerns were painful to hear, it wasn't entirely misplaced. Eventually, he asked me to leave his apartment. Not long after, Igor decided to return to his hometown, and the sense of collaboration and support I had been relying on dissolved. Left without many options, Dan and I moved to my mom's apartment. It was a tough transition, but it wasn't just about surviving anymore. It was about understanding the consequences of my choices and finding a way to adapt to a new life. As Wasted Incorporated fell apart completely, I had to confront the reality that my media career was slipping away. I began to see this as an opportunity to reset my priorities and rethink my approach to life. Moving to my mom's apartment with Diana marked the beginning of a new phase. It wasn't about surviving, it was about breaking down what wasn't working and finding a way to rebuild. This was a time of reflection and hard conversations with Diana. We were both trying to find our footing in the world that felt increasingly unstable. Despite the setbacks, Diana and I managed to move into a new apartment. It felt like a small victory, a chance to create space that was truly ours. Soon after, Diana decided to stop her college studies, choosing to work for a short time instead. Adding to the tension, my father accused me of stealing something in his flat. The accusation was absurd, but fallout was real. He blocked me, cutting off contact entirely. It felt like another door had slammed shut, leaving me with fewer and fewer places to turn. Challenges persisted as Diana wasn't working for a long stretch, which led to a hard conversation about responsibility and shared goals. These moments weren't easy, but they were necessary for us to grow together. I tried to reignite my media career. My attempts to pivot away from Minecraft content were met with disappointment. I struggled to find a new direction that resonated with an audience. Each failure added to the growing tension of uncertainty about my future. Amid these struggles, I found myself feeling completely lost about my future. The weight of it all culminated in a panic attack, the first I had ever experienced, triggered by a change in management at my job. It was a wake-up call that forced me to confront the mental toll of everything I had been through. I took my first vacation in 3 years, hoping to find some clarity and reset my life. During this time, a spark ignited, a vision of destination, a goal to pursue. I remembered my long-held dream about moving abroad and started to see it as a tangible possibility. The idea of working tirelessly to save money for an education in Eastern Europe began to take shape. It wasn't just a plan, it was a lifeline, a way to escape stagnation and rebuild a future worth striving for. When preferential mortgage rates in Russia fell through and our landlord raised the rent, it felt like yet another blow. My mom, seeing the struggle, offered me a lifeline: to move back to her place and save the money I would otherwise spend on rent. It wasn't an easy decision, but I realized it could be a turning point. I saw an opportunity not just to save money, but to rethink my career entirely. In the moment, the pieces of a new plan clicked into place. A plan to start over with renewed purpose. The puzzle was finally complete. One day, Diana stumbled upon with an old SD card filled with photos from brighter times. It was bittersweet. Those photos reminded me of life I could have, but it felt forever lost. By the end of the year, I was in a dark place. I was spiraling into regrets. I was playing games obsessively, escaping into memories of the past. I drank too much at New Year's night. Might be it was a try to forget the past. But something shifted, a sudden jarring moment of clarity. It was as if a fog lifted and I saw the mess I had been living in for what it truly was, a swamp of regrets and inaction. It wasn't just a passing thought, it was a rude awakening. I couldn't keep living in the shadows of what might have been. Dreams are useless if they stay as dreams, and I couldn't waste any more time. I finally decided to confront reality and act.